Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Fire and Maneuver and this Boshin War campaign as the Imperial Force. The Tokugawas last time moved forward and tried to outflank a position at the capital Kyoto in the Toba Fushima province. That failed for them, and so now they're moving in the main force straight at us at Kyoto, Toba Fushima. And I guess we'll just go straight into it. This is a rather big battle, as we're looking at about, I think it was like 10 infantry, and then in total 4 cavalry, or even more, and then cannon as well. So we'll definitely have a fight on our hands. The previous fight was 90% in my favor. This one I hold maybe 40 to 30%, while the enemy holds 60 to 70%. But we are defending, and hopefully we'll defend a really good strong point in this province. But enough talking. It's time to defend the Imperial capital. And here's the battlefield. So we do have rather a strong point to defend. We've got strong points here, 3 different town sections, and then a sort of more of a soft cover town section, I imagine, in this area right here. And then there's a river going along, and a big wood over here. There is really 3 points of attack for the enemy. We've got the bridge over here, which they can cross. There's a crossing point that further downstream if they're sending multiple troops. But it's kind of a long way around, so we'll see if the AI is even smart enough to come this way. Then is the main way in, which is through the big bridge here, which is a very difficult bridge, or difficult choke point really, because the wood is going to bog anyone down from moving forward through there, and then if they want to move through this, that's going to bog them down as well. So they're going to have a very difficult time if they want to move through here, especially since we got the strong points directly here where we'll be able to shoot at them. Then we'll go a little bit more of an easier way to move through here. Now still they'll be bogged down going over a lot of river points, but there is a crossing here which they can get across of pretty easy, I think. Now the road is sunken, there's no bridge or anything, but I think they can move through in one turn possibly. So the idea will to be kind of create strong points at these 3 locations, and it's gonna be down to if I'm able to accurately predict where they're gonna go. Last time around in the last video I didn't predict in a proper way where the enemy was gonna go, and that unfortunately cost me half of my infantry, or a cavalry group here. So they're only at half strength, which is really bad. However, artillery is really what did the job last time around, so they're gonna do the job this time around as well. So that's the important bit, rather than cavalry. But there's probably gonna be quite a bit of movement, so I'm gonna jump through, and I'm gonna come back to you once the bullets start flying. This is the current situation right now. So they're moving all their forces towards this kind of area. They've got some cavalry out here, which seems, cavalry and infantry seems to be heading this way. A lot of troops seems to be heading this way, but we also have troops that are now arrived just on the other side of the river here. So we'll be starting to deploy our troops to prepare against these guys. So first thing, I kind of want to block them from even coming across the river. So I'm going to bring up my cavalry, and then I'm going to put them on fire at will in case they want to just push through. then we're gonna have to move into line, and I'm thinking we're gonna move into line with this one as well. These guys we keep in column. I want to make sure that we've got the river crossing held, but then for this guy, we're gonna just hold him here just in case I need to move wherever I need to move him. And the cannons, currently we kind of have a difficult way of where I want to move them, because I want to be able to fire for a lot of areas, right? So if I move them too close to here, I don't know if I'll be able to fire and support this area. But right now, it's so difficult to, because I need to, because if I move them here, and the enemy army moves strongly here, then I'm kind of screwed. Like, I'm gonna have to give up this position, because it takes so long time to reposition them. But if I reposition here, and they keep pouring troops across here, I wonder also, because you can go into this open battery formation, which, let's see, however, open battery may fire in its peripherals. It's gonna do less damage, but I will be able to have more of a range of fire. So if I have concentrated, I think we'll fire 3 right through here. But if I increase, then I think we'll be able to do a wider range to fire. But I wonder if I'll be able to get like proper fire out of them. Also, we've got really strong points here with villages and stuff. It might be more important to be able to fire towards this range. What I could do is we could do this. Then we can deploy into this. We can see kind of where we are able to land these shots, if it's a good idea to have it there. It might be that all of this is gonna block everything. So it might be better just to be focusing on this side and make sure that no cavalry gets through. But yeah, for now, no one's going this way around. I've done a test run, and I got to this battle, but I never finished it because a friend of mine called me over to play another game. So I kind of abruptly ended, but that time they did send troops over here. We'll see though. Let's go ahead and end turn and see what the enemy comes up with. Right, so they're moving into line across the bridge there. If they're intending for a firefight from over there, they're moving back and they're moving into the woods. Okay. Okay, so the enemy moved back. They didn't really move forward here. They've brought up more troops, but it's such a choke point that I don't think they'll be able to get through. Where they will start to kind of get through is, I think, over here, where they're moving more and more cavalry. So I think what we want to do is we want to set more troops up in this area. So what I'm thinking is we're gonna get more infantry into that area, and we're gonna get our cannons, and we're gonna set the troops up to cover a lot of this area. And then, since no one's going this way around, we'll be focusing the infantry around this area pretty well. Cavalry will be there just to block the enemy or deliver some extra damage if they decide to actually cross the bridge. And with that, my turn is done. We've got perfect targets ahead of us. They're moving in column towards the bridge. This is perfect. We're gonna go ahead and fire. I also want to move up this guy so he can fire as well. And then it's time to deploy the cannons. I'm thinking we're gonna deploy concentrated to start off with. We got pretty nice range of fire here. And then it's gonna be important to deploy these guys into line. One thing that I do note is that we do not have the option for square formation. So that will make us vulnerable to cavalry. However, I think they will be stopped by this, so they won't get through. And since I got 2 units of infantry, that should hopefully be plenty enough. With that, let's go ahead and end turn. So we start off with our fire, and we're doing great damage there. The problem is I won't be able to follow up, and they'll slowly recover. So I'm hoping they'll continue forward here. Ooh, this one gets all the way up to the bridge. This guy's gonna get screwed. I'll be able to focus in 2 infantry units firing on this guy, so he will suffer a lot of damage. At the same time, we've got a cavalry unit moved into the range of the artillery. Now, I am a little bit torn here to which unit I will fire first on. Because this guy will quickly move out of the range of, or sort of out of the artillery. And so it's my turn, and we're back to this decision. Should I fire with my artillery first to get the cavalry before they get out of the way? The thing is, they're gonna move into that, and they're gonna get fired by these. So I think the guns are secondary. It's gonna be more important to get these guys before they are able to muster into line. So we get 2 shots off there. Cavalry don't fire at that range. However, we can have them as later on going to fire will mode. Cannons, if they stay within your range, I want you to absolutely massacre them. And then you fired will. These guys fired will. We're set up. Let's go ahead and start slaughtering some Tokugawa fools. Right, so we're gonna start off with a volley while they're in column, and a second one while they're in column. And then... Ooh, okay, so we got them with 1 shot of artillery. And then as they moved forward, the fired will evaporated the cavalry. And these guys lost 2 companies out of 4 in this troop here. So that's wonderful. They're starting to move around here, but I'm not too worried about that, because they'll be bogged down for each forest tile they move through, and they're going to be bogged down going over the river. So I'll have plenty of time to go ahead and come up with a response to absolutely blast them to shit. Now, I did see that the cavalry was starting to move in on my troops here, so I'm gonna do... you know what, let's fast forward first. Okay, so it's my turn. I want to make sure that obviously we want to hit this guy, right? But at the same time, I'm a little bit worried about these guys moving forward and charging my infantry, because these are nasty Japanese cavalry. So we we do it like this, and then the Armstrong guns will fire twice, and the cavalry is already on fire at will. I don't think these guys are going to move forward though. Let's go ahead and end turn. They're moving back, and because I was hesitant on firing there, they were able to get away, I think. Maybe? Wait, what the crap? They moved their guns up here. Okay, cavalry's moving in. Good shot. I do not like this though. They got oh, it's my artillery, is it? That's firing first. Once these guys get their fired will going, they should annihilate the cavalry. The cannons over here are screwed. I don't know why they moved them through here. I also like that they're actually moving a lot of troops this way. In the test battle they were all over the place. But given this, because they're moving so many troops here, I might have to relocate the guns to this area to keep them away from here. I would say first things first is the most important bit is to get rid of the cavalry. So we're gonna fire on them. The guns fired well in case the enemy gets closer. And then we're gonna fire across. These guys are bogged down, so they will just take the L. And I will get my cavalry up to the side and make sure they're dead. And with that, we're done. The enemy cavalry retreats before I'm able to return fire. My cannons were fired well, so maybe they will fire. Okay, we've got a troop walking up in column straight onto the bridge, getting great hit. We get a great hit there on the cannons. The cavalry is moving through. They're gonna get their hits in, annihilating those cannons. I'm a little bit worried here because the grenadiers or guard units over here seems like a nasty piece of troop. Okay, so what we didn't saw in the final bit was that my cannons did fire once and got rid of the cavalry over there. They still got 2 units of cavalry, so I'm a little bit hesitant to start moving these troops. Just in case. I think I can afford to start moving 1 troop over here to kind of aid. And we'll just keep 1 from the... What is this, the Chaucer Brigade? No, that's the Satsuma Brigade. That's moving down here. I should know because they're saying that. Actually, this is not the most important bit to move first with. The most important bit will be to fire on the column that's moving over the bridge. Cavalry can stay where he is. I think he's safe. So that's good. Now we'll start to move these guys. And I'm not gonna bother moving them into column, even though I could move them rather quickly if I did. Right. I think that's enough. Let's go ahead and end turn. So let's go ahead and see the guys on the bridge annihilated. Wonderful. They keep trying to cross the bridge, but they're not able to cross in force, and they get shot down constantly. They're building up a lot of troops in the woods, so we will have to turn the guns on the woods and kind of maybe turn the troop against the woods as well. Make sure to fire that way. We got someone all the way over there. The enemy has lost 67%, or they're down to 67%. I haven't lost anyone as of yet, so that's good. It's back to our turn. This guy might try to move across. I'm gonna turn the Armstrong guns, so we'll be able to shoot at these. The infantry will continue across, and then we'll just make sure that everyone's on fire at will. Great. We're slowly losing daylight. However, the enemy is not really progressing that much. With the cannons turned. Okay. Maybe... Do I need to turn them slightly to the side? I just need to move this guy before I can start firing over here, I think. I'm gonna risk it and move forward and then fire. And then the cavalry can be moved because they're not really needed there. Great. It seems the enemy kind of bogged down on their side of the river. They're kind of hiding out in the woods. I have, however, been able to turn the guns. They're going to start firing. We're going to have the 2 regiments here firing as well. And soon enough I'll get this regiment up to fire on them. And hopefully I'll be able to savage them quite a bit. So they'll be forced to retreat here before the end of the day. Ooh, we've got one bastard crossing. However, he is bogged down, and unfortunately for him, he is the one that I put in the crosshairs of my Armstrong guns. But now they're really coming in force, since we've got one actually crossing here. And we've got quite a few of them setting up to cross the bridge as well. I'm pretty sure I told the cannons to fire at... Oh, maybe I fired at the same... There were 2 stacked. And that's why he fired on 2 different ones. Okay, so this guy is in column. That's pretty silly. We're gonna focus in our artillery on him. And then you're gonna focus in on this guy. And then these 2 should focus in on the column moving through here. And now at this point I kind of want to move more troops over here just because of the enemy, and we're gonna just place the cavalry to block this area. Right, let's see what we can do. They're firing on me in the village, however, we are heavily entrenched there, so we're not taking much damage. And we're inflicting a lot more on them. I'm a little bit worried now because there's lots of lines along here that will be able to return fire on this line, which I do not like. Okay, now they're starting to move cavalry over here. Could favor me because they'll move into the range of fire. It's going to be important here to pick the right target. I'm expecting quite the dangerous volley coming in from the enemy. We're going to focus in on these guys which are in the open. We're gonna fire on the woods with the Armstrong guns. If I move this guy forward, I'm pretty sure I will be blocking the cannon, so I will be moving this way. Then because these guys are actually coming back, or coming towards us, we're gonna move him. Fire at will. And then the cavalry will be stand to block with 2 fired wills. And which one is this? Oh, it's you in the back, right? You have no fire, so right. Trading fire. We did more damage to them, but they did quite a bit to unnerve the troops in the town. We're not yet near starting to do proper damage to these 2. And unfortunately, they seem to recover everything every time. So it might be that we do not get anywhere unless instead of focusing in on this guy, we should be focusing in on this, where we can actually maybe do damage. The enemy cavalry is closing in, so I'm thinking about firing on them. However, this guy is still yellow, so I think we have a great shot at destroying him if I fire double shot. And then fire hit there, and then you will fire across. These are fire at will. And now the Satsuma unit comes up and sits right behind there. This guy will fire, but then I will order him back. And we'll see how that goes. There's very little time left of the day. The battle is soon over. Okay, I was just sitting here watching it and I wasn't speaking, but as you can see here, we've done quite a bit of damage here. They have unnerved them here, so they were just about ready to make damage on them. And at the same time here, the cavalry was moving forward, but got savaged by my troops in turn. I think for the next round here, it's gonna be important to crush the cavalry first, I would say. They need to be crushed. Second up is to continue the bombardment of this unit to the point where he dies. And then secondary, fire at will. Fire at will, and then you will move at an angle, fire at will. I kind of want them to come across now. And with that, they have 45% left, but there's like one turn left until it becomes too dark to continue the fighting. And we're off. Starting off with my cavalry destroying theirs. We are trading fire back and forth across the river. My artillery is able to destroy them over here. I really need to drink some water. Second unit is able to cross, which is very nasty. But I think he won't be able to really do anything about it. They're trying to cross the waters over here. They're gonna get absolutely destroyed for that. And oh, we're going into day 2 of the battle. I am now set up for the second day of fighting. We've got a unit that is making its way around us this time around, but they do not have enough troops to really combat my strong position. I've been able to set out around the towns again, and we're covering this area. They're trying a few new things. They've got a unit moving on the flank all the way over there, and then obviously all the way around here. However, this time around, I've put up my artillery right here, and it will be doing a lot of damage on anyone that want to try and come across the bridge. Let's go ahead and end turn. These guys are in column, and they're going to be joined by a second unit. Okay, so it doesn't transfer to both there. But, yeah, it doesn't look good for the Tokugawa forces right now. It does not look good. We're gonna give them another barrage. And I think this guy is actually, yeah, he's able to fire on them. And I'm gonna bring these guys up, because that's how confident I am. I'm gonna fire again. One thing though is to keep in mind of these guys. I don't want them to come up behind me, take position here, before I'm able to set up there myself. But right now that is probably not going to be a huge problem. They're down to 35%. I think I might be able to get them down below 25% just by focusing in on these two right here. My artillery is firing once more, and the unit is destroyed, and the second one takes a hit as well. He gets even more of a hit from these guys, and now the second of the Satsuma battalion, Satsuma brigade, is moving up, firing. They're down to 27%. We do not need to do a lot more damage before the enemy is forced to retreat. What I want to do now is I want to make sure that we can maybe drop them not just below 25, like we need to drop them significantly more. So I want to lure them in, as it were, to come in against me. I'm going to turn the guns. We're going to move this guy into the houses here. We're going to continue to hold this area. That is a cavalry unit that cannot... It does shoot. Well, I guess we're going to shoot back then. And that's about it. I think we might be looking at the last point here. We have been maneuvering around each other for quite a while. The enemy has not really been moving to the attack. However, as we can see here, the troops that came around are now coming against us. Oh, they have now dropped below 20. I should have opened up more with my artillery then on the troop here. The battle is then over because they're below 20. We are victorious. It took 2 days. And the enemy, they were clever in some of the maneuvers, but they weren't really able to follow them up. I still, like, it wasn't like a slam dunk. I still, like, had to carefully weigh my options of where to put my troops. But eventually, we have victory, and as it looks, we were able to not sustain any proper casualties. They did fire back quite a few times at us, but we were either... They were not able to fire as much, or they were firing at such strong points that they weren't able to do that much damage. So we have victory at the Battle of Toba-Fushima. Here's the result of that battle. We had 11,000 men, while the enemy deployed 21,000 men. Did I have 11,000 men in the last battle? Didn't I just have 6,000 men? Why have they increased to 11,000 now? Do I gain extra troops from the garrison to bolster my force? Because it doesn't feel like it. Anyways, we were able to inflict 17,000 casualties on the enemy. But once again, they're able to recover a ton of them. 10,000 are recovered out of 17,000 men. So yeah, it's gonna take a while for them to come back though. They're gonna have to sit and lick their wounds, and hopefully by that time I will be moving in my forces from the south, and also this force right here will be closing in, and then we will have a superior amount of troops and we will be going on the attack. Right, it's our turn again, and we have a disease outbreak. Attention General, a disease outbreak has been reported in your army's camps. If not treated promptly, it could spread rapidly and weaken your troops. You must take immediate action to prevent the spread of the illness. Dispatch medical personnel and resources to the affected areas and enforce strict hygiene measure to lower the chance of further disease outbreaks. Upgrade your hospital policy if you haven't already. Ignore it and we lose tons of manpower, or we quarantine the sick, and that's going to cost me 1,000 cash. Well, we're going to go ahead and quarantine them. we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the Sachido army, because we do have a little bit more money, right? And I feel like the Sachido army could use some extra troops. So we've got 2 units on their way. I feel like the artillery might need another battery. However, I would like maybe something more expensive. This one is pretty expensive, but it's a 6-pounder. Like, the 6-pounder is not going to compare to the Armstrong gun, is it? What is an Armstrong gun going to cost me? Maybe I should save up for that. Or maybe what I need is more cavalry. Or we just save it up. For now, we're holding on pretty well. Right, so we are suffering attrition up here. Where we can see... Can I go into the army? Which army is it actually? It's Saga Domain army. Saga Domain. Yeah, we have dropped 300 men each. And we're dropping a lot more than I thought. But we will be able to move out and we'll be able to start getting supplies. So that should be fine. Then we have this force, which is the one that will link up with the army there, Tobo Fushima. And then we have this one moving in here. I'm thinking we're going to move one step forward and then I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, have they already recovered? Am I going to have to play... Oh, you know what? Maybe it's the difficulty level. That's why. That's what. Am I gonna? Then I'm gonna have to do basically the same battle once more. They're gonna move in, and then they're gonna move in. Yeah, that's not great. Alright, let's see. I can start my policy anyways, right? Yes, 4 turns, and then we'll have increased supply chain. Wonderful. No troops will be sent or recruited more than that. What we could see is possibly upgrade one of these areas. I feel like headquarters are usually given supplies to units, reserves, upgrade. Yeah, I'm gonna upgrade it. I'm going to upgrade it. Wait, what did it cost to upgrade? Like 5 points, I think? Let's see. If I hold over it. I think it was something like 5. 4 points and a bit of gold. Can I hold? No. Great. I can't undo it. Well, just as well, I guess. So we're upgrading this area and we're upgrading this area. We'll add another story to that layer cake house. We're gonna see about building a supply depot here, I think. And then as we're like gonna be able to focus in some troops in the flank of this army, they might detach from the rest and we're gonna start to sort of break apart the Shogunate force. As this one comes up, I'll be able to push on the attack. Alternatively, I hold here, have this army move on their flank and kind of move towards the castle over here, in which or this castle maybe over here, in which case they might have to send their troops other areas. Right, everyone has moved, right? Good. With that, I think we're gonna end the second episode here, because that Tobo Fushima battle took a long time. I'm hoping that these guys gonna figure out something else, because right now it feels like, I mean, we didn't make any headway because they're recovering so many of their troops, and I I guess it's the difficulty level, or maybe because they are attacking and they kind of pull back. If we attack them, we're gonna be able to inflict more damage. But the thing is, like, there's no way I'm gonna take this army. 6 infantry, 1 horse, 1 cannon. Wait, 6 infantry? Have the units arrived? I do not think I had 6 infantry, right? Wait, Chosu domain. No, Satsuro army. Have these additional troops arrived? No, they haven't. They are going to take another no, reinforcement rate 5 turns. What does that mean? Have these guys arrived then? Because now it says I have no, I still have 4 infantry, 1 cavalry and so on. But they're on the way, so yeah, it's still 5 turns away, or 4. Yes. If it'll be that I'll have to fight these 2 battles just the same as before, I'll do it off camera and I just show you guys the result. But for now, it's quite late in the day and it's time to end. So in conclusion, we have been killing more of them than they have of us. So we are hoping that their manpower supply is dwindling as they have been losing so many men. And then also in terms of the support here, we have increased from 35%, I believe we started off with, to 50%. I can't remember what the Tokugawa shogunate had, but they've fallen to 54%. There's only 4% difference, and if they attack again and we are able to beat them the same again, then we're gonna come up on top. And now when I know the terrain of Tobufushima and I know how I'm gonna defend and how I'm gonna fight, then it's gonna be a completely different deal to hold on to this area, unless the AI gets smart and does more flanking. Enough talking though. We can speculate all we want. We won't know until the next episode. So, with that said, I'll say as I always say, hopefully you guys enjoy this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.